So they find out from the Oracle, who now looks different because part of her code was shut down by the Merovingian. The Oracle moved into a new body within the Matrix. She escaped deletion.
Cause and effect, my love.
No lipstick?
She wasn't kissing your face, my love.
The Merovingian was upset that Persephone helped the main characters get the Keymaker because he did not want the Keymaker released. So we learn from the Oracle that Neo is trapped in a place in his mind that is between the real world and the machine world. So he is not fully in the Matrix, but he is not in the real world either. He is somewhere in between two worlds, and this construct is controlled by a program known as the Train Man, who is an order follower for the Merovingian.
Shit, I don't want to hurt you. You don't get it. I built this place. Down here I make the rules. Down here I make the threats. Down here, I'm God.
The construct is described as a black market of sorts for programs to make deals. One of the programs wants to move his daughter between both worlds. He says he loves her, and Neo finds that so hard to believe.
The answer is simple. I love my daughter very much. I find her to be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But where we are from, that is not enough. Every program that is created must have a purpose. If it does not, it is deleted. I went to the Frenchman to save my daughter. You do not understand.
I just have never.
Heard a program speak of love.
It is a human emotion.
No, it is a word. What matters is the connection the word implies. I see that you are in love. Can you tell me what you would give to hold on to that connection?
Anything.
Then perhaps the reason you are here is not so different than the reason I am here.
What this scene is representing is that even bots and agents of the Matrix, they have their reasons for doing what they are doing. These are ultimately excuses. For example, I have a family. I have bills to pay. I need to continue to do this, or someone needs to do it. I can make money enslaving my fellow man, and they believe that nonsense that this system of unjust control has to continue. The scene shows that they have underlying reasons that could be related to trauma, love, and attachment to people within their family and their circles. There are very few people who are going to look into the mirror and say, "That person I see is a savage monster." Instead, they make up some construction that justifies what they do. With the help of Seraph, Morpheus, and Trinity, go into the Matrix to try to make a bargain in with the Merovingian. The Merovingian tells them he wants the eyes of the Oracle, because he wants sight of the future. He wants to be all-knowing, which the controllers of this world want to do. They want to see things before it happens. They do not want to play the game of chess that they are playing. They want to control every function of the board. They want to control every function of the board so that the outcome of the game we call life is known before it is even played. That is what a reptilian mindset is all about. That type of mindset does not want any surprises and wants 100% knowledge so that their victory is assured. So, what the Merovingian is saying here is he wants the Oracle's eyes. He wants the knowledge of prophecy of the future, of what action everybody is going to make so they can come out on top.
We want to make a deal.
Oh, straight to business, Morpheus? Okay. And it so happens there is something I want. Something I have wanted ever since I first came here.
What?
The eyes of the Oracle. I have told you before, there is no escaping the nature of the universe. It is that nature that has again brought you to me. Where some see coincidence, I see consequence. Where others see chance, I see cost. Bring me the eyes of the Oracle. And I will give you back your savior. Yes? No?
I don't have time for this shit. You want to make a deal? How about this? You give me Neo, or we all die right here, right now.
Interesting deal. You are really ready to die for this man.
Believe it. She'll do it. If she has to, she'll kill every one of us. She's in love.
It is remarkable how similar the pattern of love is to the pattern of insanity.
Time's up. What's it gonna be, Merv?
Okay, you got yourself in here. You can get yourself out.
Thanks to Trinity, who represents the sacred feminine also known as care or love. She manages to get the Merovingian to order the trainman to release Neo. Once Neo is released as prisoner to the trainman, before they leave the Matrix they go to see the Oracle. This conversation is important to the plot. The Oracle says to Neo,
I told you before, no one can see beyond a choice they don't understand. And I mean no one.
What choice?
It doesn't matter. It's my choice. I have mine to make, same as you have yours.
The architect told me that if I didn't return to the source, Zion would be destroyed by midnight tonight.
Please. You and I may not be able to see beyond our own choices, but that man can't see past any choice.
Why not?
He doesn't understand them. He can't. To him, they are variables in an equation. One at a time, each variable must be solved and counted. That's his purpose, to balance the equation.
What's your purpose?
To unbalance it.
Why?
the architect is incapable of seeing past any choices because he does not understand choice. He is robotic consciousness. He is machine consciousness. He is left-brain only consciousness that is divorced from any intuition and such. So, the architect does not have holistic intelligence. He cannot see the big patterns, the heuristic patterns. He cannot see the forest for the trees. He cannot even see the choices that are right in front of him because he does not understand choice or free will. He is totally deterministic. He is a machine mind. The Oracle says to Neo,
Please. Nigga, please. You and I may not be able to see beyond our own choices, but that man can't see past any choice.
Why not?
He doesn't understand them. He can't. To him, they are variables in an equation. One at a time, each variable must be solved and counted. That's his purpose, to balance the equation.
That is how the left brain consciousness works in order to make sense of reality and create order, constructs, and concepts.
What's your purpose?
To unbalance it.
The Oracle represents the right brain aspect. She is the chaotic aspect. She is the intuitive aspect. She is the mode of consciousness that thinks heuristically in big picture thinking. She can see intuitively into the future. She is non-linear time-based thinking, so her purpose is to bring the left brain consciousness into balance, so one can exist in a holistic state of being. The Oracle then says,
Everything that has a beginning has an end. I see the end coming. I see the darkness spreading.
We previously examined how Smith represents an agent of death via his spreading through Bane within the entire world of the Matrix and beyond.
And you are all that stands in his way.
Smith.
Very soon, he's going to have the power to destroy this world, but I believe he won't stop there. He can't. He won't stop until there's nothing left at all.
So the desire to control, death, and the destruction of heart does not want to stop. This darkness wants to infest everything.
What is he?
He is you. Your opposite, your negative. The result of the equation trying to balance itself out.
Because Neo represents light and the will for freedom, while Smith represents decay, death, and entropy, and the will to enslave your own species. So Smith finally reaches the Oracle and assimilates her, gaining her eyes. So now Smith, which represents death, decay, and entropy, now has the foresight that it needs to move forward and take over everything. We will now examine what each of the characters in the film represent and what they can teach us about ourselves. The architect of the Matrix represents the human ego gone out of control. This aspect is what is putting us deeper and deeper into the control system. He represents left brain dominance, because when we are in a left brain form of imbalance, the executive command functions all get shunted and get routed to the R complex, which is our base brain, or reptile mind, and that is why controllers all act like reptiles. It is all about me, what I can get, what I can hoard and screw everybody else. It is about the desire for control, which is why the architect of the Matrix created the Matrix, to control an entire species. The desire to control is what got us into this mess. The architect is the deterministic aspect of creation. What the architect represents is determinism. No wavering, no free will, no choice, a hard-lined approach. It is either my way or you die way. The oracle represents the human intuition. She is right brain dominance, so you can look at that as new age beliefs that don't include the negative aspect, or the beliefs are way outside time-bound awareness, but there's not balance in that either. She could be interpreted as the midbrain or the limbic brain. Also called the limbic system, she represents prophecy, seers, new age belief systems, and she is the randomness aspect, the non-linear, non-time-bound aspect of our mind. The Merovingian. He represents the dark occultists, the satanic aspect within creation, the opposer. Do not look at this as just a mythical character. We are talking about the force that divides us from within ourselves. Satan, in the original Hebrew language, means the adversary, the one who opposes, the one who divides. It is divisive consciousness. It is me first only consciousness, carnality and base desires being all you care about. It is feeding the beast. It is manipulation and deception to get what you want. That is what he represents. Basically, the dark occultists, the quote Illuminati, the dark Illuminati, the psychopaths among us in our world. There are very few people who are going to look into the mirror and say, that person I see is a savage monster. Instead, they make up some construction that justifies what they do. Smith represents fear and death, spreading everywhere like a plague, like a virus. A black cancer to infect the heart. He is poison, sickness, and disease. That is why he goes into Bane. Bane means poison. It means an agent of death. Smith is a virus that is infecting us. He is darkness, decay, entropy, the breakdown of life, ultimately at a grand scale. He is cataclysm being driven by an imbalanced consciousness. Those are the programs within the Matrix films and what they symbolically represent in our world. The captains are discussing their strategy because they are stranded outside the city of Zion. The crew is trying to get back into the city so they can help the war effort, since the machines are rapidly approaching and in the middle of them making plans. Neo barges into the room and says, I know what I have to do.
I know what I have to do.
What?
I have to take one of the ships.
What? To go where?
To the Machine City. I know it's difficult to understand.
No, it's not. You're out of your goddamn mind.
I still have to go.
You'll never make it. In 100 years, no ship has been within 100 kilometers of it. You'll never make it.
I have to try.
What this symbolically means is, Neo has to take this consciousness/way of thinking and bring it into the heart of the enemy. Get it into the heart of the people who are ultimately still powering and supporting the control system. Just when all hope is lost, Niobe, who is Morpheus's ex, volunteers to give Neo her ship, even though she has never believed in the prophecy.
You've never believed in the One.
I still don't.
Then why are you doing this?
I believe in him.
Thank you.
The ship they take is called the Logos, which we will explain later on what it means. Unfortunately, Bane, who is infected with the mind virus of Smith, hides on the ship and manages to take Trinity hostage. So Smith represents death, the destruction of care, and he is holding the sacred feminine captive. Neo tries to rescue her, but is blinded by Smith/Bane when he shoves an exposed electrical cable into Neo's eyes, blinding him. Neo is now blind. Bane says,
Blind Messiah. You're a symbol for all of your kind, Mr. Anderson.
Since he is blind, he is not able to rely on his physical senses. Instead, he has to rely on his spiritual senses, beyond the material realm, to see the world around him. Just like in the first film he was able to see the code of the Matrix, in this one, he is able to see things as they truly are in the real world. What he sees is this demon consciousness inside Bane, which is Smith. So he takes care of that, and they continue their way to the Machine City. Meanwhile on Zion, which is the last remaining human city, is preparing to defend against the machines. The battle finally begins when the machine consciousness/way of thinking breaches the defenses of Zion and comes into the city like a swarm of locusts, annihilating everything. Their numbers are too great, and this is suggestive of that the number of people totally attached to the system of control in our world, and who will give over all of their energy and their bodies for the perpetuation of that control, are still so overwhelmingly vast that it is like we are literally up against a plague of locusts. That is what this represents, that so few have woken up to the evil of their actions that they will do the bidding of the machine consciousness, no matter what, even if it means the destruction of humanity. So Naomi pilots the ship to reach the city of Zion. They use an electromagnetic pulse weapon that disables the first wave of machines. The crew has a meeting with council members of Zion since Naomi gave her ship to Neo so he could go to the Machine City. Nobody has survived the return out of the Machine City. This is how Morpheus responds.
Neo is doing what he believes he must do. I don't know if what he's doing is right. I don't know if he'll reach the Machine City. And if he does, I don't know what he can do to save us. But I do know that as long as there is a single breath in his body, he will not give up. And neither can we.
So this is the main message of the third film, that what is going to take us out of the current condition of the human species is sustained willpower and effort. Not giving up and just expecting results quickly. Neo and Trinity approach the Machine City. Neo says,
Over there. There's our path. Can you see it? 3 lines.
Power lines.
Follow them.
as you can see, there are 3 main pipes that lead from the power plants that all the people are plugged into, giving their energy, and it is leading to the Machine City, which is very far away from the power plants. This represents something very profound. There are 3 forms of energy that the machine consciousness is feeding on us. That is through our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. First, these psychopaths give us their way of thinking and worldview. Next, they trigger our emotions by pumping out constant negative energy. The third way is by getting us to give our physical energy and time to the machine world and their systems of control. So the Machine City has unimaginably powerful defenses, but Neo is able to just hold up his hand and stop the swarm. Neo says,
There's too many.
so even with his level of consciousness, he cannot beat them all. This tells us that the overwhelming majority of people are attached and plugged into this control system, since that is what the machines in the film represent. The machines represents the institutions of control in our world. Trinity says,
Come on, Neo, I need help here.
I can't beat them.
What do we do?
Go up. Over them.
What?
The sky. It's the only way.
And up we go.
again through the films there is a motif of going up. So they go up to rise above the dark energy into the higher mind or way of being, and in doing so you are going to transcend it, and you could actually work with it at that higher perspective. The Logos then crashes on re-entry into the Machine City. This is very symbolic because Logos is a Greek word. That means word. Now what did we say the most powerful word was? Anybody? No! That is right, no is the most powerful word. And that is what the Logos ship represents. It represents saying no, failing to say no, since it crashes. When not enough people say no to the control system, then the word has crashed. Because we are not saying no, the next time you complain about whatever such as inflation or taxes, just remember, not enough people collectively said no, which is the most powerful word. Which is why Trinity dies when the Logos crashes. She represents the death of care, since Trinity was there for Neo and Neo was there for Trinity. So let's break it down. In order for these institutions of control to grow, there has to be the death of the heart. That is what this is saying symbolically, allegorically. That is when Trinity dies, when the Logos, which represents the word, which represents the lost word, which is no, finally crashes. Neo says, goodbye to Trinity. Now there is only one solution left, because people are too cowardly to say no to the control system. Now a blood sacrifice is required. So this is what is going to happen if we do not say no! A sacrifice will be required as it once was before, and I would suggest was many times before. We do not want to have that eventual reality happen. We are trying to avoid that by going up over these psychopaths. But that first requires people to free their minds of dogmatic and religious beliefs such as the belief in authority. But if it has to be done through a sacrifice, then it will be, and a small portion will fight for the whole. Maybe. Here Neo meets Deus Ex Machina, which means God out of the machine. Deus Ex Machina in the film represents the leader of the diseased mind of the intellect divorced from care and wisdom, out of control and ultimately trying to dominate everything. Notice that it is made from a hive mind-like structure. Deus Ex Machina says,
The programmed Smith has grown beyond your control. Soon he will spread through the city as he spread through the Matrix. You cannot stop him. But I can.
In other words, death, which is what Smith represents, is going to consume everything. That not even the machines will be able to survive. The outcome of Smith, the agent of death, destroying everything, will be a world of complete annihilation and cataclysm left. Essentially, the machines will not be able to rule anything since nothing will be left. So Neo tries to make a deal with the machine mind, and Deus Ex Machina says,
What do you want? Peace.
So Neo is a bringer of peace between the machines and humanity. So the machines plug him into the Matrix, aka the world of illusion, through their machine mainframe. Neo's mission is to fight Smith for the machine world. The machines now stand down in the city of Zion. The people do not know why, but Morpheus, however, recognizes that this is something that Neo is doing, and he puts his weapon down first. He is the first person to lay down his weapon because he is saying, I am willing to give peace a chance. He is willing to try to take the route of higher mind through Neo. So Neo goes into the Matrix, aka the world of illusion and control, to fight Smith. All the other Smiths line up to watch it, because the one Smith who is going to fight says,
You like what I've done with the place?
It ends tonight.
I know it does. I've seen it. That's why the rest of me is just going to enjoy the show. Because we already know that I'm the one that beats you.
Smith, the agent of death and destruction, says this, since his main function is to corrupt people and make them like him, by giving them his sick and twisted worldview of death and destruction. One of these people he assimilated was the Oracle program who can see the future. This is very arrogant of him since he does not realize that Neo is plugged into the machine mainframe, so the machines are able to locate Smith within the Matrix in order to eradicate him. So during the fight between Neo and Smith, Smith says,
I really should thank you for it. After all, it was your life that taught me the purpose of all life. The purpose of life is to end.
So death is what Smith represents in the film. In our current world, this is represented by all forms of government, the belief in authority, their order followers, and all forms of dogma and religion. All these are destructive ideas created and passed along like a virus into the mind. Government is the belief that one group of people has the right to rule over another group of people. Instead of a monarchy where one person rules the people, we have spread it out to a group of politicians that are paid off by the banks to keep the situation just as the Federal Reserve wants. A death cult is what these beliefs represent. If one keeps following orders, then eventually this death cult will have everyone under their control, and Earth will become hell on Earth. It is looking like Neo is going to lose as Smith drives Neo from the sky, like a meteorite into the pavement, creating a huge crater. Despite this, Neo still gets up. He gets up for more punishment, and Smith asks him,
Why? Why get up? Why keep fighting? You believe you're fighting for something, for more than your survival? Can you tell me what it is? Do you even know? Is it freedom or truth? Perhaps peace? Could it be for love? Illusions, Mr. Anderson. Vagaries of perception. You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Because I choose to.
What this teaches us is that sustained willpower is the answer. It does not matter if there are actual physical changes going to be seen in your lifetime. I do not care about that. I am going to continue fighting evil regardless of what happens, because I choose to like Neo. Why? Because it is in right action, and that is what I am going to spend my energy doing until the end. It does not matter if one person lifts a finger, I will do what I am tasked to do until I cannot draw breath. This is how humanity is going to get out of the Matrix. By coming to that high level of awareness and state of mind, and sustained willpower. Then humanity will have a chance, and not a minute before. So the question in the third film is, how do we get out of the Matrix? The answer is, it will require sacrifice. Even giving everything you have, then humanity will have a chance. Finally, Neo allows Smith to infect him like venom or a parasite. Little does Smith realize that Neo is connected to the machine mainframe, which means the machines are able to locate Smith, the virus/agent of death, and delete him, but only through Neo's act of sacrifice. All the copies of Smith blow up in the shape of a cross. This scene is about sacrifice. This is about completely giving of oneself in a messianic act, in a willingness to save others. This brings us to what Neo's actual name means in the Matrix world. Anderson means Son of Man. Neo is the Christ figure, the Savior figure, the Messianic figure, and when he dies they show a cross right on his chest, and he is showered in golden light because he is the embodiment of Christ consciousness. Neo is willing to give everything to create a change in the world. You see, the final position that his body ends up is in the position of crucifixion. So that is what Anderson ultimately represents. In doing this, the machines broker a peace between them and the humans.
It is done.
As agreed, the war ends between the machine consciousness and the humans. It is announced to the people of Zion that the war with the machines is finally over, and they can move on with their lives. The final scene is a conversation between the Oracle program, who can see the future, and the Architect, who is the creator of the Matrix, which was created as a world of illusion to keep the humans in line, and to use the humans as energy to power the machines through fear and suffering as long as they are alive.
What about the others?
What others?
The ones that want out.
The answer that the Architect gives is the profound ending message of the entire trilogy.
Obviously, they will be freed.
I have your word.
What do you think I am? Human?
So the desire to want to get out of the system of control is where it has to all start. That is where it will start for other people who have not yet seen the truth. But if they want it badly enough, they will be free if they take action. And that is the message of hope that the trilogy concludes with. However, there is one question that the whole trilogy is about, and I will leave you with this question. In the current reality we are in, who is the one? Who is the chosen one that is going to end this system of control? Because let's remember this scene.
Go on your left. No, your other left.
So Neo represents the average person who is not the brightest, but he is a person that won't stop till he gets enough. Even when the truth of our world is revealed, he continues. It is a story of the average person and the power they have within to make change, starting to believe in themselves and not be a coward when staring evil in the face. He does not run. The fact is that nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care, or even lift a finger to help end the control system, which says a lot about what humans have become. The answer is, look in the mirror.